Welcome to part 36 of our Clone Wars rewrite. We are currently rewriting the character of Ahsoka Tano, and in this video we'll be focusing on Season 4, Episode 13, Escape from Kadavo, where we have Ahsoka find herself in conflict with her master as they continue their mission to rescue the enslaved Togruta. Thanks for joining us! Alright, so to repeat what we were discussing before we started recording, we've kind of noticed that there's times where we get really focused on just fixing each scene individually, and we lose sight of having a goal for the episode or arc in question. So we were just discussing, this is the last episode of this arc, like, where are we going with this? And we decided that what we want to do with it, we would need to actually go back to the arena scene where Anakin refuses to whip Obi-Wan and make some changes there first.
It would just be a pretty minor change, I think. Like, it would just be changing the initial reaction Ahsoka has to Anakin changing the plan. So instead of that like little nod that she gives, maybe you kind of see her eyes widen. She's like, "What? Like what is he doing?" Like, she doesn't say anything, obviously, because the queen's right next to her and she can't blow her cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it would be all in her face. She'd be thinking like, "What the heck is he doing?"
I'd maybe even have her mouth like, no, like, because she kind of realizes what he's about to do, and not in like a she's telling him no kind of way, but just in a like, oh no kind of way.
And then once she kind of figures out like, okay, Anakin's going ahead with this anyway, then you kind of see her lock in, but she's not happy about it.
Yeah, like she understands that, like, if he's gonna do something, she has to go along with it. Otherwise, it would potentially be worse for all of them. Like, if as soon as he betrays the queen and like blows his cover, her sitting there and doing nothing isn't going to be the right choice, because then, like, if her help could mean the difference between them escaping and living or them being caught and dying, like, she's going to do everything she can to help, because regardless of her feelings on the matter, Anakin is going to blow his cover, betray the queen, and immediately be attacked for it. And obviously she, cares about Obi-Wan and Rex as well, so it's like, yeah, she's not gonna leave them out to dry for Anakin's poor decision. And I think it would help if, like, because we didn't talk about Obi-Wan, but again, going back to Henry Gilroy there, like, I would have Obi-Wan's reaction remain the same as it was in the comics, that he's not happy about what Anakin's doing either. So you kind of have both Obi-Wan and Ahsoka being like, Anakin, what are you doing here? Like, and then basically after the failure in the arena, her next scene was her in the cage. And again, I don't think we'd really change anything there. If anything, having it, her meditating when it opens, like, maybe spend a little longer on that moment that you can, like, see she's angry, and then she, like, pulls herself into, the meditation, or, like, focuses on her breathing again. Maybe linger a little longer on that meditation moment to kind of show how she's feeling in the aftermath of it. But then otherwise, I think we leave it at the same.
You will be mine, little scug.
Maybe she is a little reckless in that moment. Like, we would still have her push him backwards as opposed to pushing him off the roof. But I think we had it that, she tries to cover up that it's her who's doing it, but he figures it out anyways. And then, yeah, there's that retaliation from him. And you could argue, yeah, she should have seen that coming, but at the same time, like, I think we'd be showing clearly she's struggling to think straight in that moment.
I don't think I'd have her. Like, I think I'd keep it the way we had it, because I don't like the idea of her just, like, openly, more or less attacking him, basically.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, I would, like, show that she's frustrated, like, she gives him a little side eye, and then she grabs, like, one of the potted plants, the hanging plants, like you said, and
like we
smashes it
time.
against the back of his head, and then that scares off the bird thingies. And so he kind of has this, like, split-second hesitation where he's like, well, maybe it was a bird, but then he's like, nah, I see what's going on here, and he electrocutes her.
All right, shall we begin? Oh, I should read the argument against Ahsoka first, I suppose. Okay, episode 13. Ahsoka expresses concern over getting caught in friendly fire, thus showing distrust toward her allies. When Anakin assures her that they and all the slaves will be leaving the facility intact, Ahsoka remarks, "We'll need a bigger ship." This shows again just how little she cares for her fellow Togrunans. Of course, the writers later try to cover this up by having Ahsoka selflessly endanger herself in order to help her people. While Anakin is fighting multiple Zygerian guards, Ahsoka stands back, making no move whatsoever to offer assistance. Then, after Anakin has nullified the threat, Ahsoka promptly gives him more weird looks. Ahsoka defies the laws of physics. At the end of the arc, Ahsoka is singled out as the real hero, when really she did no more than anyone else. And at the end of the episode, Ahsoka is confused that the Togruta elder is sad. When he explains, "I do not think our people will recover from this horror anytime soon," Ahsoka downplays the trauma that they have suffered by saying, "But in the end, surviving this will only strengthen the people." I guess she subscribes to the idea that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, a really thoughtful sentiment to impart to people who've just gone through hell, right? Not to mention, after essentially being fed this line herself at the end of season 5, Ahsoka reacts horribly.
Hypocrite! Yay!
Yay! Great hope can come from small sacrifices. What's our quote? Empathy is choosing to see ourselves in another despite our differences. It's recognizing that the same humanity, the same desire for meaning, fulfillment, and security exists in each of us, even if it's expressed uniquely. By Vivek Murthy.
I think it would be Vivek.
Vivek Murthy?
I could be wrong, though.
I have no idea.
We will never know.
Well, I mean, I could look it up, but do I want to right now? No. All right, moving on. Oh yeah, she doesn't show up until like
a third of the way into the episode. Holy crap!
Well, hello, Master. Took you long enough.
I hate everything.
Yes, indeed, I do too.
Well, I knew you had a nice view. Are you okay?
I sense a disturbance in force.
We did discuss this in the last episode, like, we suggested a few possible fixes here. So, I think we wanted the captain or whatever to be here. Oh, it's the Prime Minister in this one.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, we were gonna make it like it was in the comic, where, yeah, the captain / Prime Minister is present for this scene. And Ahsoka's kind of explaining, like, I could leave whenever I want, but I'm waiting. And then, yeah, I think we were going to have, like, the Prime Minister has, like, a set of keys on him or something. So Anakin takes him out, takes the keys, and then unlocks the shock collar for Ahsoka. Or were we not going to have it? Oh, no, yeah, we were going to have it.
Yeah, that was our fix for getting the shock collar off her.
Yeah.
Yes. Because the other thing is, like, I was thinking, like, to kind of show, because, like, in the comic, this is one of the weaknesses, that you have Ahsoka tell rather than show that, like, hey, I could get out of here anytime I wanted, but I'm just waiting for Anakin. And I thought, this moment of her breaking the collar does show that in this version rather than tell it, but it's stupid because it creates a plot hole for, like, why are they even here if she could have done that and then stopped the queen without it all going to hit the fan. Words are my strong suit right now. So I was thinking, instead of using her pulling the collar off, we have it that like Anakin lifts the cage and pulls it onto the balcony, but then Ahsoka kind of force pushes open the door. So like she could have gotten out, right? Because she could have just pushed the door off and then climbed up on top of the cage and then on her way. But she was choosing to stay inside the cage. The problem is, with her being upset at him, then her whole patiently waiting for her marching orders thing kind of changes a bit, I think. So maybe in this version we have it that she is trapped. She can't get out of the cage without Anakin's help.
I guess that would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just really liked the whole "I'm waiting" thing from the comic.
Yeah, because in the comic, she's, you know, being dutiful, loyal, respectful, all those things, and it's like in our version now, she's upset with him.
I think it would still come down to her putting the mission first. Because, like, if she broke out on her own, like, what is she gonna do? She's just gonna run off and go rogue? Like, that's not gonna help.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. In her view, the mission is gone now, right? Like, how are they going to resolve this? He's a prisoner, Obi-Wan's a prisoner, they still don't know where the Togruta are, like, and their cover's blown, and like, so for her, the mission is, because of Anakin's choice, the mission is unsalvageable. Or she's thinking, okay, well, the mission as it stood is unsalvageable, but maybe I can do something to salvage it. So it's like, if she could get out, I don't see why she would be waiting for Anakin, thinking, okay, Anakin has thrown this all into the garbage can, I can't rely on him, but I gotta do something, I can't just sit here.
Then yeah, it makes sense to have her be actually trapped.
And I think keeping the collar and having it that she can't get it off herself kind of helps cement that idea that she is fully trapped. Because it's like, yeah, maybe she could get out of the cage, which again, I would kind of change it so that like it's not just a simple matter of like force pulling the side off. Again, maybe there's another lock on there that he needs the keys for as well. Either which way, kind of showing that like even if she could get out of the cage, having the shock collar on and her unable to get it off, she'd be pooched. Maybe the scene opens with her trying to force pull the shock collar off, and then she gets zapped, and then the Prime Minister walks up and he's kind of, you know, mocking her, taunting her, like, you know, you're still trying, like, you'll never get it off. And then yeah, Anakin shows up, takes out the Prime Minister. Maybe instead of having him throw the guard off of the balcony earlier, we have him throw the Prime Minister off the roof here in that same way.
I was thinking that, but then I was like, well, then how does he get the keys?
I mean, he could pull the keys off his belt and then throw him, because it also, like, having him throw the Prime Minister off the roof like that, and I think we would show that, like, he lands and he's not moving, like, he's dead. Or we could just imply it, but I mean, like, we're doing PG-13, I think it would be fine to just show that he's not moving.
Yeah. Like,
it wouldn't have to be gory, it's just, he's not moving. He's dead. Again, there's this contrast between Ahsoka and Anakin, because the last episode ended with her pushing him backwards, back onto the roof.
No,
we changed it. Dang it. I was like, oh, there's this cool little, like, difference, but no, her hitting him in the back of the head is not really parallel to Anakin throwing him off. Never mind. I had a beautiful idea there. It doesn't work. Yeah, because see there, he's very obviously still alive, but it's just like, oh, ow, ugh, right?
It's such BS. Like, how would that not kill you, bro?
But yeah, we could have something very similar. Anakin just kind of pops up from below, or like, I guess it would make more sense for him to pop down from above,
Or he could just come up behind him.
Yeah. Punches him, grabs the keys, throws him.
I think I wouldn't have, like, because they have that little exchange there where she's like, oh, it took you long enough. And he's like, well, I knew you had a nice view. I wouldn't have Ahsoka say anything. Like, maybe Anakin tries to, like, similar to what we did at one point in the Water War arc, Anakin tries to start a little bit of banter there, but she is not responding.
Yeah, because maybe he could be like, sorry it took so long, but hey, yeah, I knew you had a nice view. And she just looks at him. Or maybe even doesn't look at him.
Yeah, I would have, like, her not even look at him. And then once she's out of the cage and he's like, are you okay? She's like, no, you ruined the mission, Anakin.
But how would we have him respond to that? Or would we have him kind of...
He's kind of like, well, it's not over. We can still do this.
Right. And I mean, like, that's kind of his thing, right? That, like, I mean, we've seen this in prior episodes, like, everything goes to crap, and then he's like, no, I got this. We can fix this. And, I mean, he usually does.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
It's Dooku. I need you to get our ship. Here, take this comlink.
Where are you going?
The Queen knows where Obi-Wan is. Hold on to that comlink and wait for my signal.
Come on, R2.
I hate that.
So, yeah, I would have him say, like, it's not over, we can still do this, like, I need you to get our ship, like, here, take this comlink. And maybe she's like, well, wait, I felt a disturbance in the Force. And then they have that bit about Dooku. It's Dooku. And then Anakin's like, yeah, wait for my signal. And then he runs off. And now it would actually make sense for Ahsoka to be angry at him.
Yeah.
Where here it does not. Always this unjustified attitude.
I think it would, in this case, make sense for her to ask, like, where are you going? Like, what's your plan? Like, she has no idea what's going on right now. And he just pops up and is like, no, I can fix this. And then he's just running away. And it's like, okay, what's going on? Where are you going? Like, so I wouldn't have her ask in that, where are you going? Ahsoka tone, but be like, where are you going? She's asking because she's confused and she wants to know what his plan is. And like, it's valid for her to be in this mood toward him.
Yeah, I think the emphasis would be on the going as opposed to the you. So it'd be like, where are you going?
Yeah. And then he could be like, the Queen knows where Obi-Wan is. Hold on to that comlink. Wait for my signal. And then I would maybe have her say, you know, be careful. I sense a disturbance in the Force, or I sensed a disturbance in the Force. And then he could just be like, it's Dooku, but don't worry, I'll take care of it. Because, I mean, like, in the comic, she's concerned for him when he brings up Dooku and Ventress. But I think in this case, instead of having her express that concern, and then he's like, don't worry, he's just like, you know, it's Dooku, but, you know, we'll be out of here before he even knows what happened, kind of thing, right? So, because he's not necessarily expecting to confront Dooku, or, like, not planning to. So then he would just kind of shrug it off, like, oh, don't worry. And then it kind of works for her not to be, like, worried about him, per se. Because obviously, I wouldn't want her to have this attitude, well, of, like, oh, well, you deserve it, kind of thing. Like, she would be concerned at the mention of Dooku.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really give her a chance to say anything before he's out of earshot.
Mm-hmm.
He's, yeah, it's Dooku, but like, I'm good, we're good. Like, just, you know, go wait for my signal, and then runs away, and like, is in the process of running away as he's saying these things. And then, so she maybe just like, come on, R2. We don't need to show a long and drawn out scene of her starting up and taking off.
Yeah.
Like,
why is that in there, man? Why is that in there?
Like, I can understand showing, like, here, we'll just...
That's our signal. Let's get going.
That's where I would end That scene.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
But they just keep going.
But this is, we get all of this. And all of this, and it keeps on going,
Hey,
and
go.
then finally cuts away. And it's like,
It is literally just padding the runtime.
it's just wasting time. They don't need to pad the runtime. They've got more than enough content. Like, but it's all just shallow, like.
It's
That's
just, it's
a
nothing.
true
It's
thing.
literally nothing.
Jody.
So much for our ride home.
What now?
We get through the old-fashioned way.
They're threatening to kill the slaves unless you surrender.
It's good to see you're always ready to negotiate, but I've had enough bargaining with slave drivers.
Anakin, you must realize this is a fight you cannot win alone.
Who said I was alone?
Okay.
Yeah, she's literally just standing in the background, doing nothing. Like, have it be the way it was in the comic. Like, so she sees him pull his lightsaber. She takes the cue. She pulls out her own, and they cut the door together.
In the comic, when he refuses to negotiate, she respectfully, like, quietly is like, hey, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. But I'm guessing in our version, would we want her to be voicing her disagreement? Or would she be agreeing with him? Because she could potentially be seeing this as like, we came here to save the slaves, and you're going to get them all thrown into an endless abyss because like you're still being hot-headed. Like, so they're cutting it together, and then she hears that and she immediately stops her lightsaber. But Anakin's like, no, keep going. And she's like, no, we should negotiate. And then to her, he's like, I've had enough bargaining with slave drivers. And then you could have Obi-Wan's, you must realize this is a fight you cannot win alone. And Anakin's, who said I was alone? But then it raises the question, like, you could think to yourself, okay, maybe he contacted reinforcements before getting up to the cockpit, but then it's like, wait, no, he would need the cockpit to make a call like that, I would think. Like, his little wristcom's not gonna transmit well enough, so he would have to go to the cockpit. So Ahsoka would know there were reinforcements coming. So then, would that change her stance at all?
Oh,
or would she be like,
maybe
will
we
they get
drop,
here in
like,
time?
we cut. She doesn't say anything, but like you said, she stops cutting because the reinforcements are not there yet. And she doesn't want the slaves to die before they get there.
Do we want her to be like, hey, maybe we should just back off for a second, right? Think about this. So she doesn't say exactly, like, she doesn't spoil the surprise, if you will, but she gets her just across, like, let's just hang back until they get here kind of thing, like, without saying it. Because she also doesn't want the enemy, who can probably hear her over the intercom, to realize that reinforcements are coming.
Yeah, she could say something along the lines of, like, maybe we should think about this.
And then, yeah, Anakin keeps going, talks to Obi-Wan, gets his one-liner. And then the ships arrive.
I hope you told Master Plo not to destroy this facility before we get off of it.
Yeah, all of us and the slaves.
We'll need a bigger ship.
Okay, so obviously, instead of this complete stupidity, I think once Ahsoka sees Plo coming, then she would start cutting with Anakin again.
Yeah, like they don't even need to say anything.
I would have her help him.
I was actually going to suggest, like, maybe he cuts her off. Like, he gets in her line of attack and he just bulldozes these guys. And that's why she doesn't help. So, like, you see him cut in front of her and she's like surprised. And then, yeah, he just bulldozes the guys and she's just staring at it like, okay.
Right. And we've established, like, he's pissed off with the slavers. But yeah, I don't mind your idea of having him cut her up. I guess I just
Did you say cut her up?
cut her off. Like she's been drinking too much, and
He
you're
really
like, no,
does.
I'm cutting you off.
Really does have it out for those younglings.
She's not a youngling.
Oh,
Don't you
right,
remember?
of course not.
If the real Ahsoka could hear you say that, she would be so offended.
Yeah. Fortunately, I
Um,
don't care.
I think I would, because like in this version, like he has this whole like, I'm not bargaining with slavers anymore, but like he doesn't seem that pissed off. And so for me, like if he was in that kind of state, then him going to the length of like cutting her off, when we'd shown like they were at a point where they actually were working really well together. Like season 3, if I recall, was like they were at their peak of being in step. And so it would just seem weird to me that he suddenly like, instead of falling back into that routine of like, oh, everything's great between us and we work well together, he's inhibiting her. And so I think I would want to see him like more of that aggression in his demeanor leading up to that moment where he cuts her off.
Yeah, that would just be a matter of like changing his tone in the previous scene.
Yeah.
Like show
His
that
tone,
he's
his
very
body.
angry. When Obi-Wan's like they're threatening to kill the slaves, you see that kind of sets him off.
Like, so that kind of sets him off, and then Ahsoka's like, hey, maybe we should back off, and then that makes him even more upset. And then, yeah, by the time they get in here, then I think that would be enough to kind of, yeah, like, maybe instead of her just starting again when she sees Plo Koon, we have him say something, like, Ahsoka, help me.
Yeah.
And then and like maybe it's kind of timed at the same time. Like she sees Plo Koon and then she's kind of turning back and then he kind of snaps at her, not realizing that she's already going to do that.
Make sure that cruiser gets down here. We are running out of time.
I'm gonna go help my people. I'll see if I can buy us some time.
Good luck.
I think we should either like cut that first half of what she has to say or change it so that she doesn't say my people. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, we did give it a little bit of attention in the previous episode, but I don't think we should fall into that same trap of like harping on it when
when we're not making it a
there is
thing.
no meaningful connection there.
Yeah, she has empathy for them, and yeah, maybe the fact that they're Togruta kind of plays into that, but she doesn't view them in this like personal possessive kind of like, oh, those are my people. It's like they're the same race as you, but your people are the Jedi. You are a Jedi. All people are your people. Maybe she just says, I'm gonna go see if I can buy us some time. They don't actually know that the floors are opening and the people are being pushed out because the walls are electrified. Because all Obi-Wan says is the controls are destroyed, so there's nothing we can do to like get the cannons disabled. I never noticed that before, but like,
So would we
that's
want to...
kind of a bit of omniscience on Ahsoka's part again.
Of course. So shall we tweak Obi-Wan's lines so that that much information is clear?
Yeah, maybe he stresses like the cells have been compromised, the people are in danger, but the controls have been destroyed. There's nothing we can do from here. Maybe she says something like, I'm gonna go see if I can find different control panel or something like that. Or like, we could just leave it, I'll see if I can buy us some time, and she's hoping to find a control panel. Maybe we have her spend more time in front of the control panel, like trying to do stuff with it, but it just keeps flashing error codes at her, or like, oh, you can, no access, right? Like, because she doesn't have the code or whatever is needed to control from there.
I think in our reaction, we kind of pointed out, like, it's a little strange, like it could be excused or like hand-waved that controls are generally the same across the Star Wars universe, though they do look pretty different here in this facility. But yeah, we pointed out that it was a little strange that she just like immediately knew how to operate it. So yeah, I think it would make more sense, like, if she spent some time struggling with the controls
she
there
opens
and
the
had
door
to
by
cut the
luck.
door open.
I feel like cutting the door would take too much time. So I think having the door open kind of just lucky chance, like lucky shot, like she's just pushing and things are blaring and then she like, moves this thing over here and then the door opens and then maybe it shuts again and she's like, oh wait, shoot, do that thing again. Like, and then gets it back open.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's just bing bang boom.
Yeah, it's effortless. It's like, these controls look different from what we've seen before, like the average Star Wars controls.
Like she puts in a code.
Yeah.
And then whoop, open the door.
How does she know that? SBS.
I mean, like the fact that she finds the cell in a facility that she's completely unfamiliar with. Maybe we have a moment of she's like running and then she kind of stops in a junction. There's a bunch of hallways off of it. And then we have like her stop and sense, right? Like she closes her eyes, breathes for a second, and then like her head snaps to one of the hallways and then she runs down that way. So like she's using her Jedi senses to find the nearest cell.
Yeah.
And then she sees, there's that control panel there. She tries to use it.
I think you also pointed out in like your 3-part breakdown of these episodes that there are definitely not 50,000 Togruta in this cell. This is a tiny cell.
Yeah. There's like 30 people here tops. I clicked through several shots as large as they show of the cell all at once and tried to, count as many people as possible. And I never got over, like 25. So I was like, okay, I'll throw some more on there just to give them the benefit of the doubt, But yeah, it's like there's 30 people in here.
So would we want it to be like a massive cell?
My thought is that the best way to show it, because having a massive cell, having like trying to show, oh, there's 50,000 people, like that would be so much work for the animators and like the software and like everything like that. It would just be insane. And I think it would make more sense, like you wouldn't want to keep all 50,000 people in a single cell, right? Like that makes them harder to control.
True, yeah.
So then having lots of cells with like 30 people in there max, I would maybe do 50 if you could push the animation a little bit more.
But if all the cells are opening simultaneously...
Yes, I would show, like, because we have in a minute the clones flying up and catching people. All you have to do is show them doing that in the background with other cells as well. The sky is kind of like filled with these specks of clones catching people, right? Like, or you could also have it that when he's like, oh, that's everyone now, it shows a much larger crowd as everyone runs to get off of the roof of the cruiser. So again, you're kind of implying, okay, they have done this with other cells as well. But assuming all cells are opening at the same rate of speed, all of them would be falling out at the same time. Like you couldn't do one cell and then the next cell and then the next cell. Like,
yeah, I think you'd need like multiple Republic cruisers.
You could maybe show like they're catching people and pulling them into those like troop carriers. Maybe you can have a shot because like Anakin and Obi-Wan get on a troop carrier. So then maybe have a couple shots of them like using the Force to grab people and pull them into the troop carrier with them. Like they're flying around in these troop carriers and like pulling people out of the air, saving as many as they can. So either which way, that's how we will do that scene. Getting ahead of ourselves here. This scene here, I hate this because like this is the first time she's coming face to face with these people and she doesn't even acknowledge them.
Jedi!
Whoop, I'm gonna go over here now. Not even gonna talk to you. Not even gonna look at you.
Yeah, I would have her like at least say a comforting word to them.
Yeah, literally just like have her land in front of them and they're like, oh, a Jedi, and she's like, stay calm, we're gonna get you out of here,
Yeah.
right? Like, we're here to help, and that's really all that's needed.
Yeah.
And then she turns around, runs to the corner, starts looking around. Okay, what can we do here? And then Anakin goes and destroys the turrets.
We're all clear, Master Flo. Bring the cruiser down to the landing pad.
Cancel that order, Master. There's no way to get the people out of the holding cell and up to the landing platform. But I have an idea. We need to have the cruiser move in underneath the facility. We can escape onto the ship if Admiral Coburn can get in close enough.
You heard Commander Tano. I want the men topside with rocket packs and cable guns. Move it!
So I hate how this is. I explain it all in the in my series, but yeah, she sets herself up as superior here. Like, Anakin gives an order. She orders him to cancel that order, and then gives another order, and then Admiral Coburn here does not wait for someone of higher rank to confirm, okay, yes, let's change our plans here. He follows Ahsoka's orders as if she's the highest authority there.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I wouldn't even have Ahsoka be so forward as to be like, cancel that order, 'cause I'm your superior. I would just have her say, like, wait, and then she explains the problem, and then she makes her suggestion, and Anakin's like, yep, sounds good, we'll do that, and then Coburn's like, okay, let's do it.
I would maybe just have Anakin be like, well, Admiral, did you like, will that work? And he's like, yeah, okay, you heard her, let's go. They fly now?
They fly.
Like, literal, I'm sorry, like, who wrote that scene?
A moron.
Did they not watch anything?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, fly now. They've pretty much always flown, guys. What do you want?
I mean, like, you could make the argument, like, oh no, that he's not talking about, like, clone troopers. He's talking about stormtroopers, but, like, are they even stormtroopers at that? Well, I guess they are, like, I think they are explicitly named as stormtroopers in the sequels, which is so stupid because, like, it's a completely different organization. Like, get your own name. Stop being such a copycat.
Right. And it's like, but they would probably have the same, if not better, technology for their soldiers as was had previously. Like, there's
like
no indication. I mean, like, they've got a bigger, badder Death Star, but you're shocked that their troops have rocket packs? Like, what?
Yeah, like, at least, like, when George Lucas was making the prequels, he was mindful of the fact that technology would not be as advanced. And he showed that, like, wherever he could. But the sequels, they are not mindful of that at all. They just have what they want, where they want, and whatever. Pretend it works. It doesn't work.
Okay, moving on. Staying focused, somewhat. Yeah, see here, they got this shot of them running onto the troop carrier.
Gotcha.
Would we have that scene but fix it, or would we just cut that scene and use that time to, showcase Anakin and Obi-Wan helping snatch people out of the air?
Yeah, I think that would be a much better use of that time because that whole thing is just stupid.
I mean, like, you could maybe show, like, Ahsoka helping the people, like, okay, you next, okay, go. And then, somebody falls, and so she turns around and grabs them with the Force. Like, she doesn't jump down. She just turns and grabs them with the Force and lets them down gently, or, like, holds them there until a clone can grab them. Because this is the point at which they start sending the clones up to catch people. I would already have that. It would just be chaos. Just grabbing bodies out of the air, like, as much as possible. Because they literally, they just empty this cell, and then...
That's everyone. We have to go. The facility's breaking up.
That's it. That's everyone. Let's go.
Wow, 30 people out of 50,000. You lying to me, bro. You lying.
I mean, at least they didn't show bodies, like, falling down in the background as he's like, that's everyone. Let's go.
We've done all we can do.
I love that line. That's perfect. That's the best line ever to like put here. And then that face Ahsoka makes, like, oh yeah, we got this. Good. Do we want to show the Zygerians being like, oh shit, as the Jedi blow up the facility with them inside?
Well, let's
Or do
play
we-
the scene first.
All gunships, fire!
Yeah, just some casual mass murder.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's like, this is not the Jedi way, but Plo Koon's just like, okay, let's do this. Let's kill all these people because they're bad guys, and we're good guys, so we're just gonna slaughter them en masse.
Maybe Anakin tries to push that order through to fire on the facility, but either Plo Koon or Obi-Wan overrides it.
But where would we go with that? Because in the end, I liked how they do end up destroying the facility, but in the comic, it's after everyone has been evacuated. The Zygerians are being sent to justice, and the Tigrutans are being brought home. But everyone is out of the facility when they destroy it.
I think you made a suggestion about leaving the facility intact because Palpatine orders it or pulls some strings or something, and then they kind of justify it by saying oh, well, we'll put it to better use. And Anakin becomes a little more disillusioned with the order because of that.
That was part of my just kind of alternative idea of having Ayla kind of helping Anakin grow over the course of this arc, and then that kind of makes him regress, so everything kind of stays the same in the end.
Right.
But I guess we could do that because we're moving, because the next time we see him, other than his cameo, if you will, in the A Friend in Need episode, the next time we see him is in the Obi-Wan Undercover arc, and
he kind of has that freak out at the end, who can I trust? Who can you trust? And it's kind of out of nowhere. So this at least would give much more ground to that.
Speaking of, I forgot to mention it earlier, but in the comics, in the second issue, when Yoda's talking to them about investigating the whole situation further, one of the things he cautions them about is the fact that Dooku is spreading rumors claiming that the Jedi Republic are the one, they destroyed the Togruta during the battle to retake Kyros. So the Jedi Republic treated the Togruta as collateral damage, killed, everybody died. It's all the Jedi and Republic's fault. If we had that in our version somewhere, kind of as one of those things you hardly even notice it in passing, but it kind of lays groundwork for season 5, the beginning of the Jedi Who Knew Too Much arc, right? We see those protests, right? So people are becoming disillusioned with the Republic, with the Jedi, because there's all these, the Separatists are muddying the waters about what's true, what's not true, there's all these rumors flying about everything. No one knows what's really going on, right? And so having that, sprinkled throughout the series previously, little moments like that of acknowledging that there's propaganda going on here on both sides, which I think we did kind of touch on maybe a little bit in the first episode where she meets Lux. So season 3, episode 10, Heroes on Both Sides. They both have this different perspective. They've both been fed, oh, well, your side's bad and my side's good. But then when they actually talk, they're like, oh, dang, okay. So, but having more of that kind of sprinkled in to lay the groundwork for the season 5, when you see that the people are losing trust in the Jedi, the Republic, and just want the war to end. But yeah, we could have it that Anakin tries to get the facility destroyed. But then I think it would make more sense for Plo Koon to say something. He could be like, I'm sorry, Anakin, but we have orders to leave the facility intact, or, the council has discussed it, and we're leaving the facility intact, and maybe Anakin's like, why? And Plo Koon explains, the Republic will put it to better use or whatever. We'll learn from the past. We won't make the same mistakes, kind of thing.
Would we want to like show or at least like throw some hints in there that it was Palpatine like pulling strings that brought this order about?
Ideally.
Yeah, I don't know where we would put that though.
maybe just have, the Chancellor suggested and the Council discussed leaving the facility intact, and we believe that in better hands it will prove useful.
I don't know if I would have Palpatine named explicitly. I think it would be better if it was just kind of hinted at that he pulled strings to make it happen, because I feel like that would put Anakin at odds with him.
Oh, right.
So maybe Plo Koon just says like we just got our orders in and we've been told not to destroy the facility.
Yeah. And then, so if you wanted to show that it was Palpatine behind it, I think you would have to have a scene showing Palpatine, like, in his office. Maybe, talking to Yoda, either before this or after this, like, to kind of put that hint in there that it was him who pushed through that idea. And I think I would show Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, like, Obi-Wan, since it's the will of the Council, he not necessarily speaking out in that moment, but I would show on his face that he's like, I'm gonna talk to Yoda when we get back. Actually, maybe that's when you would show it. Like, instead of showing Palpatine and Yoda, you show Obi-Wan and Yoda afterward. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be in person. Like, when they get back to the main ship here, maybe instead of starting with this scene here, you have this short scene of Obi-Wan on a comm with Yoda being like, why are we doing this? Like, and then Yoda, you have some sort of hint in there that it was Palpatine who first suggested the idea. But of course, they're not taking his orders, but is there, they discussed it and blah, 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 right? Like, it wouldn't have to be long. You just want that little hint in there that it was Palpatine with his fingers in the pot. And then it would go to, but as for Ahsoka, again, I would also show her reacting to the news, and she would also be really upset by it. Like, I don't think she would really need to say anything if we have, Anakin saying it all. Maybe she just kind of looks at him with this, like, yeah, that's what I want to know too, kind of look, right? Like, then we have the scene with Obi-Wan, and then we get to the scene.
I thank you, the Jedi, and the Republic for saving our lives.
Ahsoka is the real hero.
If you had this scene take place here, it would be full. It would be full of people.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, so again, they're not showing that they just rescued 50,000 people.
Yeah. Oh
like,
my
we
goodness.
see, what, 2 guys here in the background? Like, the hangar's empty.
Yeah, like, what the heck? Where did those people go?
I would maybe have this happen in the med bay, and the elder is laying in a bed because, like, yeah, he went through a lot. I mean, the poor man, like, fainted just from, like, seeing what he thought was his Igerian. Like, he should be weak. He should be... The fact, yeah, the more I think about it, I'm like, he's fine. Why is he fine? He's an old man who just went through a lot.
Yeah.
So I would put this in the med bay. This scene happens in the med bay. He's on the bed. He's being tended to, and they're at his bedside. And then instead of the others just like wandering away in a second here,
Tano, might I have a word in private?
Of course.
they just, well, I guess I gotta do something else. Like, instead, I'd have it that like they get called away, or it's just like, oh, Obi-Wan, we need you over here, or like, something like that. Like, maybe he does ask to have a word with her in private, but then like, it's clear there's like, okay, we got stuff to do. Like, we've got people to help. We can't just stand around here. So okay, yeah, you talk to her. Okay, we gotta go.
We did just have Obi-Wan talking to Yoda, right?
Yeah, so he maybe be there. Maybe it would just be Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Maybe you would see Plo Koon in the background helping with something else.
Mhm.
Again, if you didn't want to be animating like tons of busyness, then I would just have it like happening in a curtained off space, or in like a separate little room or something, like however their med bays are set up.
Oh yeah, good thinking.
So if you wanted to show a little bit of the busyness so it's not like completely isolated away from everything that's still going on, you could have it that like the door is open, or you can see shadows behind the curtain, so like there's still indication there. It's not happening in a vacuum. Like it's still busy. There's still lots going on. They've got so many people they need to tend to, but because he's the elder, he kind of has a space of his own. And so then obviously we wouldn't have the whole, oh, Ahsoka's the real hero.
I hate that line.
You're sad.
Well, you and the Jedi have done your best, but I do not think our people will recover from this horror anytime soon. And perhaps the people of Kyros will also join the Republic.
I think that's a wise choice, Governor.
And yeah, again, it always comes back to the same black and white BS. Oh, Republic, good. Neutral, bad. Separatist, bad. No. So I want it to be the way it was in the comic, where the Togruta elders, like, we're not joining the Republic, but we are going to learn how to defend ourselves. And I think, because we have Ahsoka and Anakin in his med bay room. So yeah, I think the elder would say that. Maybe mostly to Anakin. I think I would mostly have him talking to Anakin, because Anakin would be the one, like, Ahsoka only got a taste of what it's like to be in that position. So I think Anakin would have a lot more understanding with him. So I don't remember how the exchange goes in the comic, but we could maybe draw a little bit from that. And then, after that exchange, we could have Ahsoka and Anakin walk out, let the elder get some rest. And maybe Ahsoka says, like, I don't know if the people will ever be able to recover from this. Like, from what I've seen, like I'm starting to understand how much you must have struggled with this, Anakin. So yeah, in that way, we would still be able to have that kind of realization for Ahsoka that Obi-Wan had in the comics, where he's like, I didn't understand before, but now I kind of think I understand. But I wouldn't have it end on that. I would have her be like, okay, I kind of understand now, but you crossed a line. Or potentially we could have Anakin be the one who's like, I don't know if the people will recover, and then Ahsoka says something, and then she brings it around to you crossed a line. So there is still
I would
aspect of compassion, which we showed in the first episode. But like she's still pissed at him.
I was gonna say I think I prefer better having Anakin be the reality check. Like, I don't think that they're ever really gonna recover from this, and then having her be like, yeah, I mean, I only got a taste of it. I can't even imagine what you went through. Like, I understand why you struggle with it now, but you crossed the line when you sabotaged the mission back on Zygeria.
Would we want her to bring up more than that? Because there was a lot more than just that. The big thing in the first episode was that he was just like slaughtering the Zygerians without restraint, and even killed that one guy who tried to surrender.
So then maybe instead of her having her say specifics, then just have her be like, the way you've been acting during this mission was unacceptable. It crossed a line.
Because I think in the Water War arc, she was kind of keeping her peace. She wasn't voicing any of her complaints aloud. But I think like maybe here, like, this could kind of start a precedent where she's kind of more comfortable with criticizing him. So like I wouldn't word it very harshly. Like, I wouldn't word it as if she's his superior and she's talking down to him like she always does in this stupid show. But yeah, like, maybe if you soften it a little bit, like I'm kind of worried about like the way you were acting earlier, like, I don't think that's really okay kind of thing. Or maybe she says something along the lines of, like, I'm worried about you.
And then having her like, the way you behaved on this mission, like, I felt it crossed a line. And I don't know what to think.
I don't know if I'd have her say, like, cross the line, because, like, that feels like it's stepping into, I am your superior, and you crossed a line definitively, and...
Well, that's why I had her say, like, I felt it crossed a line, right? Like, so she's saying, this is my perspective. But it's also, again, like, the biggest problem with Ahsoka is the repetition of these problematic moments that make it clear, okay, she's treating him like he's inferior, she's treating him like she's higher authority. Whereas if we just have her in a respectful tone being like, I felt you crossed a line, like, it's not going to be read, I don't think, as her treating him as beneath her, because it doesn't have that precedent of her ever treating him that way before. It's not making judgments, it's saying, like, I'm uncomfortable with what you did.
Maybe, because, like, before, when she was kind of pushing back against him, then, like, they were kind of in the heat of the moment kind of thing, but here, like, there's a much more calm atmosphere, so maybe she is a little more hesitant to speak directly, so maybe she kind of starts to say something and then she hesitates, and Anakin's like, well, what is it? And she's like, well, can I be honest with you? And he's like, yeah. And then she says, like, I felt like your behavior crossed a line.
When it comes to Anakin's reaction, do we want him to be apologetic, trying to patch their relationship again, or do we want to have him trying to kind of justify himself, or, like, you know, oh, you'll never understand? And
I kind of like the idea of him, like, trying to patch it, so maybe he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you worry. And then maybe he kind of sort of tries to justify it. So, like, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, the real Ahsoka's favorite line.
Or no, she says, I understand, but I don't think she ever actually says, I'm sorry, ever, to anyone.
I think there's been a couple times I've noticed. But
I mean,
yeah,
like, she has moments, like, when she says to Saw Gerrera, I'm sorry for your loss, that kind of thing. But not like I'm sorry for my behavior. Like, she never says it in that context.
No, I think there's, like, once or twice in the earlier seasons. Like, I don't think she ever apologizes for anything in the later seasons, because why would she? She's always right. But I think in the earlier season, there's once or twice where she's like, oops, I'm sorry. And again, it's like they're basically meaningless, because the fact that she stops apologizing as she goes on, but her behavior remains the same. That's a huge red flag. But also, it's like that we've said many times, there are episodes where she's better, where she acts more mature than other episodes. But it's like, there's no consistency, there's no progression, there's no, like, it's meaningless.
Yep.
So having him say, I'm sorry, but something. Just like that.
There you go. Exactly like that. Perfect.
Maybe he does kind of, like, downplay her attempts to empathize and is kind of like, you know, you'll never understand. Or would we want him to react more like he did to Obi-Wan, where he's like, you know, I'm trying to do better?
Yeah, potentially. So that was Season 4, Episode 13, Escape from Kadavo. We had Ahsoka find herself in conflict with her master as they continue their mission to rescue the enslaved Togruta. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, share with your friends, and consider subscribing so you don't miss future installments. As always, comment below letting us know what you think of our rewrites and what you would do differently. We'd appreciate any support you are willing and able to offer via Super Thanks or on Patreon, where we have plenty of exclusive content waiting for you. Next up, we'll be tackling Season 4, Episode 14, A Friend in Need, so be sure to join us for that.
That was gonna be super fun.
Yep, I hate that episode so much.
It's like My favorite episode to point to, because it's a standalone episode, which is kind of rare for Ahsoka, because like she do be like in arcs most of the time, and so it's a standalone episode, and it's just awful. So it's like, it's my thing. It's like, you want to see Ahsoka at her worst? Go watch this episode. It's also in season 4, like. And so then it's kind of like, you can't be like, oh, but she gets better later. Because if you mention anything in like season 1 or 2, sometimes even season 3, then people are like, oh, but she gets better. She gets better. And it's like, okay, can we agree that by season 4, we should be seeing this quote unquote better?
Yeah, I have frequently pointed to that episode as one of the worst, if not the worst episode in the entire show. So looking forward to that. I think I'm going to go catch myself a mysterious illness so that we can never record that episode.
We're recording like reactions to the TCW movie. Like, you really think like this is something we've already seen. We know what we're getting into, sort of. We always find more than we realized before.
Yeah.
But still, like, the TCW movie is, like, really, really bad. And you're not coming down with an illness to escape that. So.
Well, I mean, we're basically almost done. We just got one more part to film for that, and then we'll be over with. And then we're never coming back to it. Ha ha!
No, we're not adding it to our rewrites. It doesn't exist.
Nope.
We're done.
Yep.
We've already done the beginning of the season, the series. We're just gonna throw Ahsoka in there, no introduction, just like, she exists now. She's Anakin's Padawan. Moving on.
Yep.
The whole of TCW really should be just a giant non-canon what if, but yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, so it's great. We're good. We're done.
Yep. I think we can skip this scene because it's all Obi-Wan.
Sorry. Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Brain just went into like fix everything mode. Should we fix the scene with Dooku?
We'd be here till midnight. Actually, we'd probably be here past midnight.
Sorry, there's a noisy truck outside. I don't know if you can hear it.
Tell it no. I can't hear it. If it goes off again, then I will smash the phone against the wall and stomp on it and put it in a bucket of water and yeah.
That doesn't sound like the best idea, but
it's a great idea.
Okay, you do you. Anyways,
I have a little Doosty baby. He is so cute.
I always go up an octave, and now, like, when I hear myself, I'm like, it kind of sounds condescending rather than cheerful. Hello, children. Thank you for joining us today. It's story time.
It's story time. I love story time.
Exactly. I mean, like, who wouldn't?